What's going on, everyone? You're watching the Iron Gordon channel. Thank you for being here. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a fairly inexpensive skateboard, and then while doing so, I'm going to show you how to recreate Bart Simpson's skateboard. Let's get in the project. Okay, so first things first, we got to do a little bit of research on my man Bart here. Okay, Google, how tall is Bart Simpson?
According to Wikisimpsons, Bart's height is 4 feet, he weighs 85 pounds and has blue eyes.
Those are blue. Okay, Google, what size skateboard for someone who's 4 feet tall?
Here's what I found on the web.
Come on, Google, I can't be reading all day. Alright, so I read half an article, which makes me an expert now, and it looks like maybe someone that's about 4 feet tall should be riding a skateboard that's somewhere in the ballpark of 24 to 28 inches long. With Bart's skateboard, it looks like it's kind of more reminiscent of an old school skateboard, maybe from the 80s to early 90s, so we're going to go definitely with that style. His skateboard's got more of a rounded nose and a squared off tail, so now that I got my pattern drawn out, let's go cut it with a jigsaw. I wish there was an easy way to
clamp this to the table.
Oh, well, that was easy. I went ahead and rounded over all the edges with a belt sander to get it nice and smooth. That leads us into our next step, which is going to be removing the grip tape. Now, I found that the easiest way to do this is if you can clamp the board down to something solid and take something round like a big dowel or a broom handle and start rolling the grip tape off backwards. It comes off pretty easy. You can always warm it up with a hairdryer or a heat gun beforehand, and that'll help soften things up as well. After the grip tape, we're going to turn our attention to the other side of the board and start scraping off all these old stickers and taking off the old graphic. Now, since I'm making more of an art piece versus a functional skateboard, I'm going to strip this down to bare wood so that I can paint it and have it come out to be a smooth finish. If you're just making a rideable board and you don't care about any of that stuff, then no big deal. You can skip this step. Now once that's smooth, I'm going to use a little bit of filler primer to help fill in any of the remaining divots. Now I think Bart's board was green in the older seasons versus the newer seasons where it tends to be just a wood tone. I'm going to go with green. I think that looks to be a little bit more fun than just blank wood. Plus later on I do want to put a graphic on this board, so green's going to be a nicer background color than nothing. Once that's dry, I'm going to turn my attention over to the grip tape. Now Bart's board always has a stripe running down the middle of it. I went with orange and green. So what I'm going to do now is take this orange sheet of grip tape, cut about a 2-inch strip out of it, and that's all I'm going to use. So that was money well spent. Then I'm going to take this sheet of green, cut it right down the center, and now I have 3 pieces of grip tape that I'm working with. Now grip tape works just like a big uncomfortable sticker. You start peeling off the backing paper and patting it down with your hand, trying to not get any air bubbles underneath it. And then I'm using the orange strip to run down the middle with, and then I'm going to butt my 2 green pieces up on either side of it and give myself one consistent piece of grip tape across the entire deck. Now the grip tape's laid down, you're going to want to score the edge with something flat and metal like this screwdriver, and then run along your new traced edge with a razor blade and trim it to shape. So I went ahead and picked these generic trucks off of Amazon for pretty cheap, but I know I wanted to paint them, so I dismantled them, scuffed them up with a Scotch-Brite pad, and then cleaned them off with some alcohol. I assembled this little paint station for myself. Then looking at some video clips of Bart, it looks like he has teal trucks in a lot of the clips, so I went ahead and doused these things with some of this Rust-Oleum satin vintage teal. And then once they were dry, I reassembled them with some yellow bushings, and they came out looking great. And for the next step, you're going to need something thin and pokey, and what we're going to do, we're going to come through the bottom side of the board, stab the grip tape, and that'll provide a hole for us to slip our hardware through. Then we'll be able to attach the truck to the board itself. Remember that you want your kingpins facing each other on the inside of the board. It looks like Bart uses the bigger old school style wheels, so I went with these 59mm pink wheels. I'm going to pair those wheels up with some bearings. To help press the bearing to the wheel, I use a 5/8 inch socket because it matches the outside diameter of the bearing and it helps press the bearing into the wheel just a little bit easier. Once the bearings are all pressed in, you can then bolt them up to the trucks, and you know what? I think it's finished. Okay, I absolutely love the way this thing looks, but I do want to paint a graphic on the bottom of it, and I'm going to save that for my next video. So if that's something that interests you, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I upload a video. Leave me a thumbs up, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Originally modeled after originally, because that's good English. And I'll try better next time.